Hello and welcome to the International Society for Physical Activity and Health podcast. Our first podcast series is a rapid fire series on ISPA's councils and networks. It's time to get into our podcast for today with your host, Matthew Teppy McLaughlin. Okay, today I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Nana Anoche from the newly formed Low and Middle Income Council. Hi, Nana.
Hi, Teppy. How are you doing?
Yeah, well, very well. So the first question I've got is, so what's the aim of the Low and Middle Income Council?
Thank you, Teppy. So the aim of the ISPA LMIC Research Council is to contribute to improving science, advocacy, policy, and also to strengthen the research capacity in physical activity in low and middle income settings.
Yeah, and so you're saying it's newly formed. How new is it?
It was formed last year.
Okay,
great.
Great.
We started operations as late last year, and we are expecting to launch this officially by the end of this year.
Great. Okay, so it's really fresh, and so some people may not have heard too much about this yet that are listening to this. So, what are the kind of some of the core activities that you're going to be undertaking as a council?
As per the aim that I just mentioned, our planned activities will include first setting up the LMIC mentoring and coaching scheme for early to middle career researchers affiliated to ISPA, and secondly, to create a database of expertise in low and middle income research. The aim is that this will facilitate the formation of long-term collaborations and short-term investigator teams in response to grant calls. In addition, we plan to contribute to policy formulation by regional and global bodies. And in fact, we've already commenced this. So just recently, the steering committee of the council prepared a response document to the WHO with the aim of sharing this within LMIC settings. And this response document was with respect to physical activity during and after the COVID pandemic. In addition, individual members of the council have so far led the development of policy briefs on physical activity and COVID in the global south. So these are some of our planned activities, and which obviously we've started working on some of them.
That sounds great. Yeah, it's good. It's good to hear that stuff's already underway and some people have been involved. So for ISPA members, perhaps it's the database or something similar that they might be able to get involved in.
Not all, yes, the database for a start, and also being part of the mentoring and coaching, either as mentees or mentors themselves. And then I guess also more importantly, being part of teams that will contribute to advancing policy setting priorities. So there are a plethora of activities that members could get involved in. And being that this is a newly formed council, the idea is during the official launch, we're also going to listen to views of interested members, and then this will set out other targets or other priorities that we might need to work on.
Great, awesome. So it sounds nearly ready to get that launch in and get some members joining up, and I'm sure plenty of people listening to this are interested in finding out more and when that launch happens. So it's a stay tuned for now. Thank you very much for joining us today, and look forward to the next in this podcast series. Thanks, Nana.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. But if you haven't done so already, I'll encourage you to subscribe to your favourite podcast channel. The International Society for Physical Activity and Health podcast is available on all of the leading podcast channels, including Apple, Spotify, Google. If you've got an idea for a podcast, you can send that through to info@ispa.org. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope you can join us on our podcast again soon.